Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is just a quick little video. It'll probably not be actually that quick, but try to keep it as quick as short as I can. I've spent the last few months really making a second model railway room. How it came about is I had my other one over there in the next room, and it was my N gauge going around the outside, and then I wanted a place to put my O gauge garden trains, and I said to my partner about having some, maybe in this room, a place behind the sofa or something just to put them, not really sure. And she said I could just have her room because like she's great and stuff, and yeah, so kind of lucky there. But because no one else ever used this room, it was a spare bedroom, spare extra room, but just no one ever used, which said it was right. So yeah, so originally planned to do a O gauge around the room or along the side of the wall, and then group plans kept growing and growing as they do, and eventually I settled on two layouts in one room, double layered. So the top level will be my O gauge, and it'll go around the room, and the bottom level will be the double O gauge. So if I start on the O gauge first, it will be a heritage line railway set in modern times, sort of all up to date. The reason I chose a heritage line is because all the trains usually in O gauge tend to be older. Picked up a few old coaches and stuff when I bought the Garden Railway. It's smaller, it's easier, and I'm not a fan of replicating something I've never seen. So if it's like a 1950s set in 1960s, whenever, I'd never saw it, so it's not really fun to me. Anything, I was born in the 80s, and even then I didn't really see many railways. It's not until, well, I've never really grew up around railways, so it's hard to me to see anything I actually can see. So I've gone to quite a few heritage railways, like most people have, and replicate something along the lines of that, something I can go to now. It will be a smaller one, quite small, because obviously O gauge is huge and you can't have a massive station or anything. But I've got a plan, but I will make a video for that soon. Start on that and go more information. So yeah, it will be DCC, and it will go around the board all the way around the room. The lower level is double O, and will probably modern image or anywhere between 1980s to now. No, probably just now. Do it now, because yeah, I can just run anything. It's more really there for, I do like doing city scenes. Never really built trains like that, so I don't really know, but I do prefer big cities. And it's more really just, I had a load of my granddad's O stuff, been in storage for 20 odd years, and before then it was even longer. Most of it don't work, so I'm going to try fixing it, and yeah, it's just going to be a simple DC layout, two round tracks, but does split up into a fiddle yard, and on the scenic area probably split into four. The only other real thing I really want is part of it to be able to show underground trains, because I love underground trains or UK underground trains, and O is the only scale that really does anything for that. So I think this will be my chance to do that. Keep this simple. It's just going to go around, and it's something, if I'm in here working on, I can just leave two trains running around and not worrying about it. Where on my other ones I tend to prefer to be able to not control it myself, but leave it to a computer automated sort of going back and forth. Yeah, try that. This one, just get done. Though it's probably my third priority really after the O gauge and the N gauge. With the O gauge, it's going to have no fiddle yard. I was originally planning a fiddle yard, but when I was trying to work out the placing of it, you couldn't really fit much in it. It just took up so much room with so little track that I was just like, not really sure what I want to do with it. It's not as if I'm going to buy loads of trains or coaches because they're so expensive. I think on a coach at the moment is on sale half off and it's still over £100, so it's not as if I'm going to get a load. I managed to pick up 6, I think, coaches for about £100 off 6. They're older ones, but they look pretty good, so I'm pleased with that. What I'm going to do is possibly make a turntable. I think I used to always wanted to model them when I was younger, but just had no interest as I've got older. But I think I'm going to try it again, just see what it's like, and it will, yeah, just sort of be a cool little feature, I think, and try to use that with the DC controller I'm going to build. With the Heritage line, something you often see with them is all the rolling stock, all the unused trains, even some of the used trains are actually just left anywhere, wherever they can be stored at the moment, because there's no real storage for them. And I think that kind of fits in well with not needing a fiddle yard. The trains will just be parked wherever they can be put and left, and it will look quite good, I think. So I've put a few sidings and an engine shed, I will, and whatever else, try to fit in without trying to fill it up too much, but try to get in nicely. Then have a turntable for some of the old steam trains that would possibly get in the future, could fit in there, and that'll go in nicely then. So far I've actually made a bit of a start on it. What you can see behind is a little part of the scenery on one of the corner edges of it. Just one track goes around the back. 3D printed these houses myself. I've used Blender to design just some houses and buildings just myself, and then 3D printed them. I've only used it as a plastic 3D printer because it's quite big scale, so you don't need resin or anything. It looks quite good once they're painted properly, because at the moment none of these are painted. I've just sort of done test paint just to see what it's like, but I think it's going to be all right. The pub especially doesn't look good and stuff. It's just want to see what sort of colour it is. What you don't really see done often enough is a board full of buildings and then built and arranged as if it's got a lot of history. So you often have the buildings built how they are placed, and but what I always really enjoy seeing is you have a building that was built 300 years ago for whatever reason, coal factory, something. Then some of those have got knocked down, and then one of them was left for the trains, and then a shop was built on the end of it. Someone else has built a few houses on next to that, and then maybe even during the war one of those houses got bombed, and then someone else has built another house but at a different angle, and then everything sort of fits weirdly in place. Nothing square edges, and it's all different years, everything like that, and I quite like that. So that's what I've been trying to do with this particular thing. It's all on a steep hill. The road underneath the bridge has had to change. Originally it would have gone straight under the bridge, but as years have gone on, buses and trucks have got much bigger, and so what they've done is dug deeper under the road and made the road go a bit lower so that the trucks can go underneath it. I've seen it a few places, and local to me what they have done is kind of the opposite, because the railway was no longer in use. So what they did was remove the bridge and then put the bridge 2-3 feet up, and so it became a pathway more than a train bridge, because the trains were no longer on it. So yeah, I will be making a video So yeah, I will be making a video on how I've done some of these and more of my plan for the O gauge layout. I've also got another little project I'm starting is where I'm going to be building a DCC EX controller. My aim with that is to make it the best possible controller you can have. All the features of all the big expensive ones, but no more than £150. So I'm going to do a little guide on that because I have built a simple one before, and this is, yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I don't understand how more people are not using it, because the features are just better than everything else, and it's easy, simple, fixable, huge community. It's great. The room's gone pretty well so far. It went well. The only problem was with storage. I put a lot of storage space underneath all the boards, as you can see. Then building all the woodwork, moving stuff from the other room, it just became a mess. And so then I was struggling to get in here and stuff. So the last 2-3 months, I think it was, it's been just a slow, every now and then when I've got time, cleaning more than just rearranging stuff more than anything. Often get one bit done and it just became such a hassle. So I finally got it done and I can start on it properly now. Yeah, real issue was just though the boards I built all underneath, works great, all level, but it just seems to not be level, even though the spirit level says they're level. It not so bad much on the O level boards, but on the double O it seems like there's ups and downs and everything, and more than 5 or 6 coaches on a train, it really struggles. A road train, so maybe it's just that the road trains a bit, but yeah, it's not great. So I'm going to maybe one weekend try to re-level all of that a little bit, because it's just unscrew a bit, move up and down. That should be fixable, but I don't know why, because literally with the spirit levels, I've got one with a bubble spirit level and I've got a digital spirit level, and they're both showing no more than 0.1%. So, but yeah, I'll try to fix that. Also with the O gauge, I had a plan, 3 boards along the top, all removable, going great, and then I went and put the points on it and realised that they're not going to fit. They're going to have the points go across the removable bits. So what I've did is took one of them, cut in half, and then I've used 2 of the boards to put points on and leave the rest as just sort of space within the tracks. That seems to have worked out quite fine. Give it all space still, but it was a bit of a issue, but it seems to have worked out fine. But I'm really not enjoying making the tracks go over the gaps. It's not fun, and I'm putting that off big time at the moment. On the bit behind, I did it on a curve, and all the rest I'm going to have to do on curves mostly as well, along sort of from the main bit. And one of the other things I was worrying about would be the bridge going in front of the door, but that seems to have worked out really well. Just a wooden door, bridge gate, put hinges on it, put 3D printed some little bits slot together, and it all fits in really well. Don't even need lock or anything, it just grips in place and it's great. Kind of works also even better because if I had kept it as it would stick halfway into the room. So what I had to do was cut another halfway down the middle, so it bends again and goes around the board. That works really well because if you're looking at it outside when it's open, doesn't even half the time you wouldn't even notice it's there. And the trains did go over really well, but recently I've changed a few bits around and they're not quite level at the moment, but it's easily fixable. Back in the old room, and here, no real update. It's pretty much the same as it was before. All the work's been done on this other room. I think all I've done is I've took out what these original doors was and put shelving in them, little drawers, so that I can store any like scenery pieces. That's the plan for those, or any small scenery bits. So if I need like a person, a car, anything that's really small, this is where they all go. Any little bits, and paint at the bottom. And the other thing I did was these little, openings to get underneath the main, what would be the top level. I just always kept thinking they're a bit of a waste of space. Like, they looked alright, but I always felt like I could put something in there. And so what I was doing before doing the O gauge and everything else, because it was going to take so long doing all the electrics and the underboard of the N gauge, like I was getting very tired of just doing that, and I wanted to do a bit of scenery. So what I did was make these little boxes, really diorama boxes. They slide in, fits in nicely, and I could just make little scenes that go underneath. For instance, here is going to be a underground station, so you've got the actual layer of the track and then the station above it and whatever else I wanted, and I could change them in and out. So the one opposite it could be an older station, one could be a newer station, different type of station. That's if I really want to go into work with that. Probably never will, but it's a good little option there. Here is where it was just a quickly done. I was just seeing if I could 3D print with the plastic and not resin, because the resin's really annoying to use. I was seeing if it would work well with doing an N-gauged house, and so I just made my own little house, and it worked quite well. It's not as nearly as good as resin, but from a distance, most of the time it looks great. It's fine, pretty good. Lights up and has a little routine of, if you're going, is if someone's coming home, the front room lights turn on, then the kitchen light turns on, then the garden lights turn on, then the garden lights turn off, the bedroom lights go on, and then it goes through that sort of phases of it. And the car lights even work. Yeah, I was quite pleased. That was just like a little test thing I was doing. And yeah, the other little bits, where there's these shelves up here, I went to the Hornington Railway at Woodbury Bay, and I really enjoyed it. And I've also recently joined the Barnstaple Model Railway Club, and really liked, well, apart from it being a great club and everything, I really enjoyed the 009 models there, and I kind of wanted to do myself. It's adding a fourth one, and then these shelves were just free of it now, so I thought in the future there's space for that to do a little 009 layout, and I'm pretty sure I can perfectly fit in the whole of Woody Bay and the line that's extended down a little bit onto this shelf, so that will be there in the future. And also, to complete this set, this little shelf over here, that's free as well, so I may just do a TT layout just to complete the set, really. But yeah, those are not really, I've not got the money to do that at the moment, and probably not for years to do it, but it's there and left it open for that. And yeah, that's all for this video. 20 minutes is quite a long video, longer than I was expecting, but tried to keep it shorter. But future plans for videos are just, I'm going to do the DCCEX guide and a quick video of how I built the little town scene behind me, or updating what I'm going through doing now. And yeah, those should be out soon. And that's everything for me for this video. Thank you very much.